Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Mastermind show where we discuss with Indian bureaucrats various governance issues, forest and wildlife. Today I am joined by somebody who has done pioneering work in reintroduction and rewilding of tigers in Panna Tiger Reserve. This is the first time tigers were reintroduced and rewilded in the forest. When he took over, there were hardly any tigers left in Panna Tiger Reserve. And when he left 5 years later, there were more than 32 tigers. And now Panna Tiger Reserve has as many as 90 tigers. Let's welcome Shri R. Srinivasa Murthy, who was director of Panna Tiger Reserve, and he did all the pioneering work in reintroduction and rewilding of tigers. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sharadji. Thank you very much.
So, sir, now tell us something about how tigers vanished from Panna Tiger Reserve.
Vanishing of tigers in Panna is
Right.
quite a long story. But to put everything into a short format, it was between 1995 and then 2005, and even up to 2009 also. There was a very high wildlife trade, especially in tiger, related panther also, trade parts at the international level. And this could not be realized by the then, what should I say, forest department because of the traditional way of working. So by that time, mobiles got introduced, and then gradually, the international network, which was operating on various nefarious things, got into this wildlife trade also. So that was when basically we lost Sariska, and then in continuation we lost Panna also.
That was in 2009.
No, it came to public eye only in 2009, whereas in Sariska the tigers were started reporting last around say before 2005, and finally it came into picture in 2005. But in Panna it roughly started around say 2002-3, around say, and then finally came into public light in 2009. And in between there was lot of, what should I, field director just 2 steps behind me, Mr. Krishnamurthy, G. Krishnamurthy. He basically brought it to the knowledge of the higher ups in Bhopal, telling us, sir, now there are only male tigers left, there are no female tigers. That was when a plan was started to take 2 females to Panna, so that always the family unit together at Panna, so that tiger population can build up. But unfortunately, by the time the proposed 2 tigresses moved to Panna, so the leftover male tigers also moved out.
So there was no male tiger, and
Yes.
these 2 female tigers had been taken from Panna.
No, the T1 we call them founder tigers, T1 to T7, 7 full tigers. So the T1 is a female tiger from Bandhavgarh. T2 is a female tiger from Kanha. So meanwhile the things were moving on. When finally Government of India NTCA found out now there are very many tigers left out in the tiger reserve. Again, state government requested Wildlife Institute of India to take camera survey, camera trap survey. So with that survey, finally it was found out that last male tiger that was left out also moved out of the tiger reserve by end of January 2009.
And there were only 2 female tigresses by then.
No. So the female tigers that were intended to brought to Panna to revive the population, they entered Panna in the March 2009.
Okay, so 2 months after the last male tiger exited Panna, 2 female tigresses were brought.
Yes, brought.
But there was no family by then.
There was no family because the whatever leftover male tigers were there, they moved out.
And so when you reached Panna, when was that?
I reached Panna in May 2009.
So again, 2 months after the female tigresses had reached.
You can say 2 months or 3 months, whatever it may be, because I reached the end of the May. No issue.
And then there were no male tigers, only 2 female tigers.
Yes. So earlier situation was there were no female tigers. Now the situation as in there are no male tigers. That was a very ironical situation.
So, what was the first priority for you? To get a male tiger or to ensure protection of these two female tigers?
My priority is that, and that's very clear, even the government's priority was to bring back the tigers to Panna. So for me, to step into Panna at this point of time, the top priority is to know what was the shortcoming in the entire Panna debacle where we lost the tigers.
Right.
See, even as per the IUCN criteria, for any local extinction, you have to find out the reasons. So by then, a central SIT was formed by NTCA, and then I entered at the fag end of this particular investigation by central government. And then after me joining there, then again a state government also formed an expert team to find out the reasons of the debacle. So one state, one central committees have completed their work, but still I wanted to be damn sure ki what is the shortcoming earlier by which you lost the tigers. Then without saying so to anybody, I started inquiring on myself as in the capacity of field director. Then finally I found out certain startling things. Without rectifying them, things cannot move on a right track. That was my priority to overcome those shortcomings.
So was the prey days too short for tigers to survive in Panna, or was it poaching?
Prey was low at that point of time. But the main reason is to great extent poaching and disturbances that caused the tiger not to breed properly. Second thing, there was a shortage of female tigers also. When the shortage of female tigers were there, then there is a lot amount of turnover takes place because number of males are too high. Whichever tiger goes to pregnancy or even delivers a litter, again there is a turbulence because every other male is competing with the limited number of females. I can very surely say at the last say 2 years before, there were only 2 or 3 female tigers inside the Panna. At the end of it, only one female tiger, which passed away due to poisoning in 2006.
Oh, so from 2006 to 2009, there was no female tiger in Panna tiger?
Absolutely no. Because that time we were following the Padma technique, and only very recently in the first cycle of NTCA landscape estimations, camera traps were introduced, and then everybody was learning at that point of time. So exactly pointing out what were the sexes of the tigers at the ground level was a big issue because between 2006 and next cycle of 2010, we lost Panna tigers.
So, sir, when you found only 2 tigresses and there was this crisis of protecting them and stopping poaching, so how did you move ahead?
बेसिकली देखिए ये जो बुंदेलखंड की जो एरिया है बेसिकली erstwhile kingdoms है, वो that culture still carries on. For some people, breaking a law even is a pride.
Yeah.
So that is the basic issue. So I have to really touch that particular issue of that societal structure there, wherein influential people doesn't lead the people in a wrong way. And then people should become fearless for such pressures. That was the main target for me. And then we started consulting the people wherein I could get some good wisdom from the what should I say, people who were very thorough about that local geopolitical situations, societal conditions. One Mr. Shekhar told me, sir, instead of seeing the people as an opposite side, why can't we take them on our side for the conservation? From there, it has become an out of box idea. We started directly consulting with the people at the local level and then political level, and finally we had a very big conclave of local everybody there, putting together from Chhatarpur district, Panna district and Satna districts. Because Panna is basically located in 2 districts, Chhatarpur and Panna. So unless everybody comes together at the landscape level, tigers cannot be saved. That was my concern. So we had a very big conclave on 5th November 2009, and then I should only thank the locals and then God, where everybody freely exchanged their ideas and shared their thoughts about how the tigers were lost, and unanimously everybody said it was poaching because of the tigers lost.
5th नवंबर को जब मीटिंग हुई तो व्हाट वाज द कंक्लूजन कि ये आखिर कैसे हाउ टू मूव फॉरवर्ड कि पोचिंग कैसे रोकेंगे?
One thing, very clear cut issue that came up among the various discussions happened among the locals, poaching was one of the main reasons. So basically, we have given the ground only for the locals, especially political class, that included all the MPs and the MLAs and then collector, SPs and then forest department put together. They clearly said poaching is one of the main reasons.
जी.
Now, after once the political conclave
जी.
was coming to an end,
जी.
I requested to make my appeal to everybody, and then I clearly told, sir, now whatever things has happened, everybody made it clear. Now the basic issue is now governments want to bring back the tiger. If we are going to lose the tiger again due to poaching or some other reasons, so basically for the first time we lost the Bundelkhand pride. Now if we are going to lose it for the second time, then the situations will be much more difficult. So with folded hands I request everybody, I fully accept that the department could not deliver its responsibility between 2002 and 2009. Now, without your help, the tiger cannot be revived here. So everybody said yes, we are for the tiger revival here. Now it is our pride. In no way we are going to happen to lose the tigers for the second time. That was one resolution. So that took place on that particular day.
So this happened on 5th of November. So when did the first male tiger arrive from where?
Simultaneously, search for the male tigers was under the undercurrent happening continuously, and then on 6th
November, a day after
this conclave, I got a message that your guest is with us. So we were waiting this male tiger to arrive in Panna. No, that is from Pench. We were all waiting for the male tiger to arrive. Almost 1.5 months prior to this particular exercise everything going on simultaneously, because it was the headquarter and the local team there at Pench who were doing this particular operation of getting a right male tiger for Panna.
So it was captured on 6th, and when did it arrive?
He arrived on the same day.
Six.
He was captured around morning hours, before 10, and then he arrived Panna around midnight, just before midnight on 6th November 2009.
So by that time it must have gained consciousness, because when it was captured it was time.
Yes. Generally, when you capture a tiger, place him inside the cage, and you bring back him to conscious, semi-conscious, rather not full conscious, because while driving, it's not advisable to keep a particular animal under anesthetic conditions. Anything can happen for the vital statistics. So generally people revive them, but they are under drowsiness, because some sedatives will be still working. It takes almost 8 hours completely to any animal, especially tiger, to come back to normalcy.
Okay. So when it reached you, so how was the situation? And was it released immediately or after waiting for a while?
That was another ironical situation. For certain unavoidable conditions there at Pinch, people could not really collar him, because for any reintroduction process, radio collaring and radio telemetry based monitoring is very important.
True.
So now the male tiger cannot be released into open immediately. Of course, the scientific process is to put them under a bigger enclosure, and where from, after observing him for the normalcy, for him or for any physical injuries or mental status, all these observations are done, then they get released outside the enclosure. That is known as soft release. So because whether you call it soft or hard, present situation is that he has to be again taken inside the enclosure only because he was not radio collared. So he was again taken back to the enclosure at Badagadi.
In Panna.
In Panna, yes. Badagadi is a place, heart of the Panna tiger is a school.
So it was again tranquilized.
So yes, certainly, because again radio collar has to be matlab place not to him.
So within say 24 hours, it was tranquilized twice.
No, matlab people took another 7 days again to tranquilize him. Meanwhile, he was kept under observation. That is a totally different story. But he was again tranquilized on 30th November 2009.
And put on
a radio collar and then released on 14th November.
Same day or day after?
Day after, 1 day after.
And did it immediately reach the females or what it happened?
Very, very unfortunately by that time, because everything has happened initially with the female tigers in the March. Then we brought him in November. Meanwhile, there was a good amount of monsoon. So whatever the scent marking of the female tigers were there, they got washed away. Of course, we were not knowing these details at that point of time. So male tiger, instead of taking a left turn, he took a right turn towards the southern end of the park and then vanished from the park after 10 days.
Okay. And you were completely monitoring it on your device?
No. Till then he was there inside the park. Our monitoring was not any problem. But he, after 10 days from 26th early morning hours, he moved out of the park. So from then, he is outside the actual jurisdiction of the Panna Tiger Reserve. So where we don't have any knowledge of the geographical area also. So most of the time, initial 10 days, we almost had no signals except for 1 week or 2 signals. Meanwhile, our deputy director also tried to bring him back by regular, traditional methods of driving back him. But they succeeded to great extent. But finally, tiger escaped from their net.
And there was no trace of it?
Yes, for almost 10 days from 29th November up to 9th, we didn't have much of any signals or signs and symptoms about this tiger, where he is roaming around.
So you didn't know whether it was alive or dead? Or was it moving inside the forest, outside the forest, injured, not injured? No knowledge.
To great extent, no knowledge, because tract is almost same. Whether inside the tiger reserve area, outside the tiger reserve area, tract is the forest habitat is the same thing, but only one missing link will be, you can say, prey base is very, very little outside the park area.
And then there will be there will be apprehension of coming in contact with the human population.
Yes, certainly. We are afraid of every other thing that can happen with the tiger, because it certainly to re-energize himself, he has to make some kill, and that kill is basically cattle.
And during next 10 days, we didn't hear of any kill by the tiger.
Very rarely. Only issues that by that time we realized there are not many rumors spreading around by the local media. So we have taken a very calculated decision to issue our own press notes deep from inside the forest. We around say people of more than 70 people were there at the ground, along with me and my deputies, continuously following along, staying with the team only. We slept on the open forest, we slept on the river beds, and then there was no escape, because we are very clear, without we having back T3 back to Panna, so there cannot be any tiger interaction that can happen around. So for us, in Hindi, I can very clearly say T3 was an unknown है, तो उसको किसी भी हालत में हमें वापस लाना ही था.
एक बार सारे टाइगर्स जा चुके थे. This was second chance. If you squander the second chance, then there will be no.
There is no any
third chance.
Whatever we are sitting and speaking here about tiger conservation, all things should have been put into a big full stop with a very big bad spot on the entire tiger conservation history.
फिर 10 दिन के बाद आपको कैसे उसका पता चला कि कहाँ पे है?
Yes, that's when I started realizing now we have to have some different type of communication, because we are not actually getting those technical signals because of various reasons. So we have started making local announcements, जिसको हिंदी में मुनादी बोलते हैं, हर गाँव में जो ट्रैक में, and then we put posters also requesting everybody to communicate to the nearest police station, our forest naka telling ki if anybody sees a cattle kill or presence of tiger, they should communicate us. And then luckily that worked.
तो मतलब अभी टाइगर लापता था, अब पता चला कि टाइगर जिंदा है.
हाँ, टाइगर है, जिंदा है कि नहीं ये नहीं पता, लेकिन टाइगर है. So that was, to be specific, we got this message on 8th December night. Then our team reached the spot. It is Patrikota by 9, and then they could get the signals. So it was like a music into our ears, telling कि भाई कुछ तो मतलब 10 दिन से कुछ बहुत बड़ा मतलब एक स्तब्धता चल रही थी और उसमें थोड़ा सा जान वापस आया है.
तो मतलब अभी पता चल गया कि टाइगर जिंदा है.
हाँ जी, क्योंकि उसकी सिग्नल तो सही थे तो टाइगर जिंदा है. बट वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट. ऑफ कोर्स एवरीथिंग इज क्वाइट ए थ्रिलिंग आल्सो एज ऑन टुडे. उस दिन काफी
कांप रहे थे घबराहट से.
नहीं, वो काफी मतलब
घबराने वाला था.
हाँ, जो सिचुएशंस उतने अच्छे नहीं थे. आफ्टर मी रीचिंग द स्पॉट कि फर्स्ट आई हर्ड ए बुलेट गन शॉट and then just in 15 minutes time, then before I could confirm ki whether it is a bullet shot or not, discussing to my 2 or 3 staff who are holding signals, another shot I had heard.
So was someone trying to kill the tiger?
Not exactly tiger, but in the entire tract, poaching of wild animals happens, especially mostly for the wild meat, and someone was doing the same thing inside the valley where the tiger was sleeping.
Maybe a deer or maybe
whatever wild meat. It can be sambar.
And tiger was somewhere around.
Tiger was very near to them, but they also were not knowing tiger is sleeping there.
Oh.
We are knowing this because we are holding the signal.
And did tiger come to realize that somebody was firing near them?
Very difficult to say because we didn't heard any disturbance with the signals.
Yeah.
Because in all probability tiger must be in deep sleep.
Okay.
So from our side we made some noises. And then we got a supporting team from Sagar Circle. And the people who were doing that wrongdoing,
the poachers, they vanished.
They got vanished. Of course, further the forest department could track all those people and then take it. Register a case against them.
Okay. So now, once you located the 3 male tiger, so what was the next step? How did you take it back? And how far was it from the Panna tiger reserve or the main core area where you were supposed to release it?
See, this till now we have discussed only 10 days story. Another 20 days story is there because this gentleman was outside the forest for complete 30 days. So, but to cut short the entire story, I would say that every other danger for a tiger's life was there on the track, including the poaching, which just I narrated. Then it can be even killed by cattle poisoning also. If somebody poisons the cattle after he killing them, and then even electrocution can happen because that was again the crop season. So fencing, electric fencing that people do, which is again illegal thing. Tiger can also get killed because of. But we have taken care of all those issues. After addressing them, finally in between we have sent a report to the headquarters, both at Delhi as well as Bhopal. Then there was an urgent meeting that happened between NTC officers and then Bhopal officers at Bakswaha on 14th December. Then wherein we have very clearly said that somehow this tiger needs to be taken back. If we are going to leave him here, then there is every chance that we are going to lose the tiger. So the officers then permitted us to take him back. And then
again you tranquilized.
Again we tranquilized this tiger on 25th December, that's the Christmas day, and from Tejgarh forest of Damoh. So by that time this tiger has travelled 442 kilometers. In one direction, 252 kilometers.
And that means total journey
yes,
500 kilometers.
It's all GPS recordings are there.
Yeah.
And then we tranquilized him. Meanwhile, certain things we have to again start continuously speaking to the people and then coming because the idea is that the problem that was hammering in our mind is that we are going to take him back. What is the guarantee that again he will not come back? So that was another important issue. So for that we have spoken to people again And then we got in very again wisdom wherein people told me that basically cats contact happens because of the scent marking. So we asked the Bhopal Zoo to provide us female tiger's urine.
Because tigers can
Yes,
sense the scent.
opposite sexes get attracted with the scent marking. Even tigers basically identify others' territory only with this scent marking.
Okay.
It both happens with the urine as well as the fecal matter also. So luckily that time we had some 8 female tigers here. Lot of trouble taking. People have provided us that female tiger's urine, which we sprayed at the site of release in Panna.
Okay.
And then finally this time the expectation is that this tiger will go on searching for those
The females.
females which were not there. Meanwhile, if he is going to catch the existing female scent marking, then to great extent our work will be done. And then luckily the male tiger which we released on 26th December met the T1 on 30th December.
Okay, so it had
And
a
then,
good New
yes,
Year celebration.
Male, female were there together for 4 days continuously.
So they had good New Year celebrations.
Yes, yes. They also had, we had.
Your 2 months, 3 months labor brought.
Matlab, so 1 month labor outside the park area, otherwise we were putting our labor continuously from May onwards.
Normally, forest department people, they keep working inside the forest. But this time you kept on working outside the forest for almost a month.
Yes, outside the tiger reserve, but most of the time it was forest area only. Track is quite a big area. Of course, it was there in the human habitations also. So, but still, that sojourn of tiger and the learning experiences are very, very high. And then they provided lot many clues how to proceed.
Okay. So was it the first time that the forest department tracked a tiger outside its lair for such a long time?
Yes. In the annals of tiger conservation, tracking of moving out tiger again to bring him back to the place where we wanted to
For almost
be.
a month.
Almost a month.
That was the first time.
That was the first time.
Okay. So now, since the family was complete and they had a good New Year celebrations, so what was the next?
Next is actually earlier prior to this T3 episode, our tiger tracking skills, monitoring skills were very poor. But this particular outing of the male tiger has taught us very good learning experiences where we can hold the signal in a perfect way. Meanwhile, we have devised several methods and then we tried to retain him inside the forest area. That's a different story. But while tracking the tigers after the pregnancy, supposed pregnancy, the female tiger's movement starts getting restricted.
Okay.
From a bigger area to it will get restricted to a smaller area. And then that's how finally, you see, by end of March, so I could go and inspect the tigress T1 from an elephant. We took photographs and finally we decided now the pregnancy is at the advanced stages. So that's how there is again a sense of happiness around, but we didn't reveal to anything to public. But finally this tiger entered Dua and then she delivered her first litter on 16th April 2010.
That was a very big day.
That was a big day, but we came to know about this particular final, what should I say, having the first litter after seeing the cubs by mid-May.
Okay. And I think you celebrate 16th April in some way.
Yes, that's how actually you see, we have to devise several ways to keep the motivation levels high with our staff. So every small occasion, we used to rejoice with the staff inside the forest to make them give a fillip so that they can move to the next level. So that's how I have invited celebrating wild tiger birthdays in Panna on every 16th April. Even today it happens, and then that is happening for last 15 years. And the first tiger birthday, the then forest minister Jairam Ramesh came to rejoice with the staff of Panna.
Okay. And so the first litter had 4 cubs.
4 cubs.
And were they all males?
Yes, they are all males.
Oh, so there were 5 males now with 2 females.
But
And these 4 were cubs.
the 4 cubs were males, but they will reach adulthood after 2.5 to 3 years only.
Mhm.
So, but the basic issue was that T1's cubs were all females. But meanwhile, we had a good information about T2 also.
Okay.
So, on one particular date, I still remember the dates very well with Panna. On 13th December, my deputy director Vikram has given me a SOS message telling, sir, please come here. So I said, what is that? No, sir, please come here. Then only I am going to reveal. So I went to one BBC camp is there, not British Broadcasting Corporation. It is Bundel Babba camp. So went there. He was with a smiling grin. He said, sir, T2 मिल गया, 2 बच्चे हैं उसके साथ.
Oh, without announcing pregnancy, it just delivered.
Yes, delivered. And then we are lucky to have 4 cubs with T2. She must have delivered somewhere around October, but she had 2 females and 2 males.
Okay.
So, with first litter, we had a good sign of having good, some females with the T2, but T1 had all males.
Okay. So before we end this interview, I just wanted to ask one interesting incident you discussed with me some time back. That was about losing track of the tiger and without technology at hand, you somehow located it. How did that happen, and who was which tiger was the subject case, and how did you locate it?
Again, it was T3.
Okay.
We brought him back inside the forest areas for the Panna for second time. But again, almost for a year, he was trying to move out. So we had to use a lot of local tactics to retain him inside the park area. But on one particular point, he almost reached at the edge of the park in the southern border where he escaped earlier. So with all our local tactics, we drove him back inside the forest area. By that time, it was 10:30 night. Some amount of moonlight was there. Since he moved so fast towards inside the park area, so again we lost the contact. So there was very many technical issues of getting a live signal of the tiger, but it was the time when the satellite was moving over India, and then we requested the scientific partners to share us the live contact, but for some reasons we couldn't get that particular, live signal. So then one important issue is that I am very open to anybody and everybody, but still my staff with lot of hesitation came to me asking कि सर आपसे एक निवेदन है. मैंने बोला क्या निवेदन, बोलो भाई. बोले यदि हम लोगों का कुछ आइडिया है, यदि आप इसको उपयोग करेंगे तो शायद टाइगर का सिग्नल मिल जाएगा. तो आई सेड कि नेकी और पूछ, बताओ क्या करना है. दे सेड कि साहब जस्ट पास ऑन ए मैसेज टू द वायरलेस स्टेशंस wherever they get an alarm call of a herbivore, immediately they should send a message to us so that we can go and catch the signal. So the basic wisdom, local wisdom, since of common wildlife art of management is that alarm call can be heard only in the presence of a carnivore, and that at that point of time you had only 3 tigers other than some panthers. So this again clicked. So in another half an hour, some alarm call came. My wireless operator communicated to the ground signal team, and then they went, and in less than an hour they again caught back the signals. So technology is there. But
सर एक आपका जो फील्ड स्टाफ था उसको कभी भाग के अपना पेड़ पे भी चढ़ना पड़ा लोकेट करने के लिए टाइगर्स को.
ये चूंकि देखिए पन्ना में जो टाइगर ट्रैकिंग है, इट इज 24/7, 365 for almost 6.5 years. At one time, we were tracking one tiger. At the highest level, we were tracking 13 tigers. So, ये तो उनके लिए तकिया कलाम हो गया है क्योंकि they know how to track a tiger either from foot or from elephant or from vehicle. So, but while searching to know whether T4 has really given a litter or not, our staff were on foot. Of course, we deployed them, go and see, get the results back. And then, as a lucky surprise, both for the T4 as well as the staff, they have seen a cub along with the T4 in the mid December 2011. But that surprise remained only for quite a very very small moment where tiger started vociferously defending her cub, started making a charge onto the staff, but luckily all the staff got onto the tree and saved themselves. And then follow-up elephant teams have gone and then got them back to the safety, safety net of the rest of the people. But otherwise, some moments are quite risky, but they are risky worthy. At the same time, of course, all the time tigers were there to not to really, harm us.
नहीं
We were very lucky that way.
तो इसमें आपको were you more happy और more scared कि साहब वो उसके बच्चा आपको दिख गया तो एक तो हैप्पी हो गए, ये भी हैप्पी हो गए कि हमारा स्टाफ बच गया, और स्केयर भी ये था कि अगर कहीं उन्होंने चार्ज करके मार दिया होता किसी को.
हाँ देखो, रिस्क तो रहता है शरद साहब, बट बेसिक इश्यू ये है ना कि थ्रू आउट आवर टेन्योर, आई वॉज देयर फॉर लिटिल मोर देन 6 years 3 months time. We never had any fatal meetings with the carnivores or for that matter with any other thing.
किसी भी स्टाफ को नहीं किया?
नहीं, कभी नहीं हुआ. तो एक बार जरूर सांप ने काटा था स्टाफ को, बट वी सेव्ड हिम. वी वर डिटरमिन्ड कि हमारा स्टाफ को हम किसी भी हालत में लूज नहीं कर सकते while performing some duty, and then we have our intentions were very good. मेरे को एक ही बात समझ में आता है कि prayers go up, blessings come down.
T4 ने जब चार्ज किया तो इससे ये भी प्रूव हो गया कि वो डोमेस्टिकेटेड नहीं है, इट्स इक्वली वाइल्ड एज T1T2.
तो मतलब वाइल्ड लाइफ खासकर कार्निवोर्स क्वाइट पोसेसिव. उनका जो मदर का जो एक पोसेसिव नेचर है ना, वही उनको बचाता है. दैट्स हाउ भगवान ने उन लोगों को बनाया है. आपके घर में भी आप महिलाओं को देखिए, वो छू के देख लीजिए उनकी तरफ कहीं, देन यू विल हैव इट.
और एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है कि आप इतना लंबा समय तक फॉरेस्ट में रहे हैं, बहुत फील्ड में काम किया है, कभी ऐसा कोई टाइम था जब आपको डर लगा कि आपके ऊपर कोई चार्ज कर सकता है, अटैक कर सकता है, या किसी ने किया हो कभी, whether elephant or any beast for that matter, not only tiger?
एलिफेंट का अटैक तो मेरे ऊपर 2 बार हुआ है. एक बार तो अननोइंगली हुआ है. एक calf था. That calf came to me playing and then given a kick to me. और luckily मतलब I was stable. I just मतलब kick किया तो I was मतलब what should I say, getting carried away in the air for around 10 feet and then landed very safely onto the land because इतना height ज़्यादा नहीं था.
But was it a wild calf or domesticated?
जो domesticated बच्चा था, वो 3-4 साल का बच्चा था.
प्लेफुल था.
हाँ, यस, जनरली होते मतलब कई सारे एलिफेंट्स मुझे पहचानते भी थे वहाँ पे. They used to talk to me also. Of course, you have to be affectionate with the animals.
नहीं, लेकिन जंगल में कभी किसी ने wild beast with a bear or elephant or tiger?
उनके साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ. सेकंड टाइम जब हुआ था, मेरे बेवकूफ़ी के कारण हुआ था. I could have been killed after I left leaving the Panna, but luckily मतलब अभी मैं जिंदा हूँ.
सर, अभी तो आप बहुत लंबे समय तक जिंदा रहेंगे, ऐसा क्या बात है. So that was Mr. R. Srinivasa Murthy, the former DF of Panna Tiger Reserve, telling us about the reintroduction and rewilding of tigers in Panna, one of the legendary figures of Indian Forest Service. Uh, I think that was quite informative and something which we all should listen and take away from this interview. Thank you so much for watching Indian Masterminds. Stay informed, stay curious, stay tuned.